Ivory here. We will take questions on Zoom, so if you have a question, please raise your hand. And Steven, you can kick it off.
Laurel, thanks for taking time to talk with us this morning. I wonder if you talk a little bit about kind of the preparations for the game tomorrow, how the team's feeling going into the match against San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're in a tough spot a little bit right now. I think nobody wants to be losing in the way that we've been losing, but I don't think anybody has put their head down at all. I think we all believe in what we're doing, and we all believe in the game plans that we're putting forward. It's just a matter of little things and executing in places that we know we can execute in. So I think everyone's feeling really good. I feel good, and just ready to play already.
Thanks, Steven. And then Charles.
Hey, Laurel, I'm just kind of curious what the dynamic is like, in the goalie room. We cover all the pro sports in the city, so with the Kraken, I know the goaltender tandem, it's a tight group. I'm just a little curious what it's like for you guys, and, obviously you and Claudia have worked so hard.
Is this something we're recording on now, David, over here?
Oh, sorry, Charles. Hang on, let me just mute. There you go.
Yeah, I'm just curious what that room is like and, the support between you guys, because so often Laura's talked about how much this team is proud of its goalie depth. And obviously you stepping in, it's a tight spot for some, but for you, I'm sure it's just trying to be ready and trying to go out and do your job. So I'm just curious about the dynamic with the depth in that room.
Yeah, I mean, obviously what happened to Claudia is like nobody ever wants that. But the four of us, Kaylee coming in really seamlessly, honestly. She's been great. We get on really, really, really well. We're all really supportive of each other. I think every single training session has been so motivating. We push each other, but at the same time, we also compete with each other. So I think it's a really healthy balance between making sure that we're each getting better, but also taking the responsibility on ourselves, because at the end of the day, we are competing to play. And I think Lloyd also facilitates a really, really good environment for all of us to feel comfortable and support each other. And I think at the end of the day, if we get a shutout, whatever the result is, we all take ownership over that, because we wouldn't get it without all of our help. So,
Thanks, Charles. And then Steven.
Kind of to follow up on that, you mentioned kind of competing with each other. You were kind of thrust into the starting role unexpectedly after Claudia's injury a couple of games ago. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about kind of, knowing that you're coming in as backup, but you might need to come in at any time and stepping into that role.
Yeah, I think again, like I said before, nobody wants to see that happen to anybody. I never ever want to see that happen to any of our goalkeepers, any of our players. But I think it's a good lesson, and you always have to be ready. It's been almost 2.5 years, and that's never happened to me before. So I handled it as best as I could. And now playing in these games, I think the thing I'm focusing on the most is just like how prepared can I be going into these games? What advice can I take from people who have done this 1,000 times? Lou's been really instrumental for me in that. And so is Lloyd, and Laura has been working with me to feel really, really good going into these games. And I think both games, including tomorrow, all 3 games, I felt really good and I felt really prepared, and it's just a matter of trusting my training that I've done my whole life. So.
And then Steven, go ahead again.
One last one for me. I'm looking at the game tomorrow. The Wave have a lot of dangerous attackers, depending on if Alex Morgan's available, David Shaw. Kind of how are you guys looking at organizing your defense to try and eliminate any danger from them and make sure that you can kind of keep that clean sheet?
Yeah, I mean, I think in all the games that we've seen this year, there's been some absolutely lethal attackers. It's nothing that we haven't seen before. We've played San Diego. I actually thought we defended them really, really well earlier this year. And I think it's just brushing up on a few things here and there, but I think our game plan is sound, and it's just a matter of execution at this point.
Thanks, Steven. And then if there's any other questions. All right, cool. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Laura.